Welcome to Trusted Podcasts, where it's all about discovering who you are and learning the tools and strategies to make every area of your life a little sweeter. And now your host, Master Coach and Caddy, Fader.
Aloha and kia ora.
Welcome,
Are we
everybody.
live?
Yeah, we're live.
Live from
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Ah, look who showed up. Well, he's not the ugliest man in the world, but he's the second ugliest man in the world. Look at that. Who's
Hey.
that?
Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah,
How's it going?
Look, mate, look.
He talks funny.
Look at the food he eats. It worries
Oh,
me.
what is that?
It's celery and peanut butter.
Oh, that's a good dish. I agree.
It's too healthy for my friend. Hey, come on, tell the world, Shane Rose, the famous Shane Rose from
Famous.
Hamilton, New Zealand. He's from Temple View, New Zealand. And look, he's drinking Coca-Cola instead of, what's your favorite fluid?
It is sugar-free. Coke Zero, sugar-free, bro. So, everything in your life should have no sugar in it, except for your marital relationship. You want lots of sugar in there.
Now look
there
at
you
him
go.
And today's topic is on relationships. And, the theme for 2025, Trusted, my company, is remarkable relationships. And here's a guy that I hung out with from 0 to 8 years old. I never beat him in a swimming match until the other night. Controversial.
It was videoed. In my mind, it was a tie, but he reviewed it in slow-mo for about an hour.
Oh, really?
It was like watching the horse races, photo finish. He drew the line across it. No, I've got you by a fingernail.
Oh,
But before he leaves, we're going to go one length and butterfly. Good luck.
No.
Good luck.
Oh, no. All right, let you get back to it. Anyway, today's podcast is on remarkable relationships.
The best relationships,
What are they?
where you're both giving, not taking.
Ouch. You see why I hang around the guy? Because
Yeah.
he's always taking.
The only time it is better to receive than to
Yeah.
give is if it's a talk at church. Right? That's the only time when it's better to receive than give. You don't want to be given the talk at church. You want someone else to give the talk.
Oh, no. Okay, now look, you're going to steal the show, and you can't be more famous than me because you have 2 million followers. I have 200.
Yeah.
All right?
right.
Right,
Jim-
I'm out.
Thanks, mate. You can see I'm spirited mood today, mostly because I'm in New Zealand, where I grew up first 8 years of my life. But more importantly, rekindled a remarkable relationship with that guy, my mate of my first 8 years of my life. And so,
What prompted you to rekindle that?
well, each year we have a theme for Trusted Coaching.
Yeah.
Last year was soul searching. This year is remarkable relationships. And I knew I was coming to New Zealand. And last year I brought all of my 5 children and their spouses down here. We had a marvelous time. And with 3 days to go, we stayed an extra 3 days because I wanted to finish my 1,000th golf course at a course just 2 hours south of here at Taupo, where my dad used to take me fishing. And so I wanted to do it on Lake Taupo. And so I asked my 3 boys to stay with me, and I took my Fader foursome over to Waireke and played my 1,000th course around the world. And it was magnificent. But Shane, I stopped by and hooked up again, and I've seen him 3 times in 50 years. Wow, that's right. And I hooked up with him last year. We had dinner here at his house, where I'm staying right now. And my boys, they couldn't get enough of Shane. They said, he's the Fader of New Zealand. He's the Kiwi Fader.
Yeah.
We come out of the same pod. We always have. We're both reckless, crazy, ridiculous, weird mates. And it's just been his mom and my mom are best friends. And so through his mother, I got back in touch with him. And when I left the golf course, after playing my 1,000th, my son, Bradley, said, Dad, why don't you come down here more often? I mean, you're only 9 hours away, right?
Yeah.
And with that friend of yours, seems like you got a place to hang out. And I said, yeah, he's quite a guy. And he inspired me to really take a look at my relationships personally and carry that over into 2025, remarkable relationships. And so I was talking with my sweetheart, and we were just reviewing what makes a remarkable relationship, because we all know how important they are and we all tolerate a whole bunch of different stuff, but truly what makes a remarkable relationship? How do you establish remarkable relationships? How do you hang on to them? How do you keep them going forward? And what do you look for?
I think that at any phase in life, to understand what makes an amazing relationship is key. It's so key. I think it'd be awesome to kind of go through your Fader 5. What are your Fader 5 for making remarkable relationships?
I want to just kind of, for those of you who have a pencil and paper, but number one is relaxing. Do you have a safe haven where both parties can unwind and be themselves without pressure or judgment? Number two is rejuvenate. Do you feel energized? Are both individuals energized? Are they encouraging growth and, bringing renewed vitality to both lives? If you can start with those two, they are the cornerstone, relaxing and rejuvenating. When you're around a lot of people and you just don't feel comfortable because you feel like that judgment is coming at any time, at any place, and you feel like you have to defend yourself, and a lot of times we do, and that's a whole nother part of the program. As an individual, Tyson, you don't have to defend yourself. One of the really fun exercises that I do with people is trusted advisors, number one. Number two, frenemies. Number three, cotton candies. See, most of my friends are frenemies. They're my friends until they're not. And that can be a buttload of things. Trusted advisors, really hard to find. If you're lucky to have 5 of those in your life, you're super lucky. And then the cotton candies, the people who just have so much fun talking about you because they don't want to talk about themselves. They don't want to see their errors of their own ways. They just want to blame, and they want to shame, and they want to find fault. Yeah, we stay away from the cotton candies. The frenemies are where the majority of our people live, and they can be your mom and your dad and your brothers and your sisters and your close companions. I work with so many people who their worst enemy is their own sibling or their parent. It happens so much. It happens way too much. But then we have these frenemies that are close to us until they're not. And boy, all heck breaks loose. Number 3, respectful. Is it cultivate mutual respect for each other? Do your opinions matter? Do your values matter? Your needs, you're ensuring both feel valued and heard. Shane right now is smoking and drinking. And as I sat with him the other night and he shared his heart with me, he could feel from me that how much I loved him, how much I care about him, and how much I want the best for him. And I don't want to be his mom and dad or brother or sister and tell him he needs to stop doing that. I just said, it'd be really nice if you were around for the next 20 years so we could golf. He's a golfing freak. We've played almost every day for the last 2 weeks. And I know that hit his heartstrings. And so that's where I want to go with Shane. It's just, I'm so grateful that I've rekindled that relationship. And that's another part of of these remarkable relationships, is that a lot of them we've let go of. We've kind of, they've, a lot of time. And there's, when you live in New Zealand, the furthest place in the world, is there any further place that you can get to? Right. You know how long it takes to get to New Zealand from Los Angeles? 14 hours, 14 and a half. That's Los Angeles. Now, if you moved it into like Tennessee or Philadelphia, we're like 17, 18. So it's a long ways to go, but it's worth every bit. Reliable. Number 4, is it built on trust and consistency? where both can depend on each other, okay, in times of need and joy. Can you count on them? Are they reliable? And then probably the fifth one, resilient, because it endures the challenges gracefully. You grow stronger and you're more connected through life's ups and downs. And I hope to be that for Shane as we go forward, and vice versa. Adding a lot of strength to him, having someone coming back into his life who, we were inseparable for when we were 5, 6, 7, and 8, as I mentioned. I traveled all around the northern part of New Zealand swimming with him, and he was great. I never beat him. I'd get on the podium and I was always number 2 or 3 or not on the podium, and there he was, holding up his trophy, going to his room, look at all my trophies. Remarkable swimmer, remarkable human being. And the more we share, we've had 2 weeks to rekindle everything, and it's a remarkable relationship. And I hope those 5 things, you guys who are listening will say to myself, does my relationships with everyone meet these 5 curriculum, this standard, these components? What would you add to that?
Well, I'll just kind of summarize in the questions that people can ask themselves, like, is my relationship relaxing? Like, is this a safe haven where we can be ourselves without the pressure, without the judgment? 2, is my relationship rejuvenating? Like, do I feel energized with this person? And do I bring energy to them so that they feel rejuvenated when they're around me? Number 3, respectful. Am I respectful to their opinions, their values, or am I operating from a place of judgment? 4, reliable. Do I show up for them? And do they show up for me? And can we depend on each other time and time again, especially in the hard times? And then 5, resilient. Is our relationship growing stronger even amidst the hardships? Are we working through challenges, or are we letting the challenges continue to simmer and separate us? And I think that as we ask those questions, I think those are awesome elements to consider. The other day, I was coaching someone, and a woman who's a nurse, and she finally has a schedule and an opportunity to rearrange her life in a way where she's kind of like a night owl, and sometimes she actually works a night shift. And so, but she's always felt so guilty for sleeping in, and like she can't quite live in what rejuvenates her and is most her, and staying up late and then sleeping in. So she finally had a discussion with her husband, and they said, you know what? The husband said, I'll take care of the kids in the morning. Like, I got it. You sleep in with no shame, like no shame about it. You just sleep in. And so she's trying this out, and I think there's bits of these elements within that kind of dynamic, but sometimes we just live under the default of this is the way that it should be, this is the way that it's always been, and we don't question, we don't say, well, what if our relationship could be different? What if we could do things and be more of who we are and what we love and be safe in that? So and support each other even. Like, let me try and propel you in who you are by taking over the mornings and letting you sleep in, those kinds of things. So I love these elements. To be able to practice them this year, I think that it definitely takes a year to be able to implement maybe even just one of them. So if there's just one of these that you want to work on, one of these that resonates with you, I would just say, yeah, take one of these, ponder the question, spend some time with it, challenge yourself. But any aspect of this will be super helpful.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Tyson. Yeah, at Trusted Coaching, we say the same thing. Whether you're coached with us or from someone else, we just applaud that so much. We are in the whole format of building stuff at Trusted Coaching. That's what we do. We build pyramids. And don't take this one lightly. I think above all the things that we do in our lives, we do not do a very good evaluation of the kind of relationships that we are building. And we settle for a lot of stuff that is just really unnecessary. We run with a lot of people who are insecure and inadequate, have scarcity mindsets and stuff like that. And we all do. And we don't want to act like we're better. That will never be the point. The point is to be around people who demonstrate these 5 traits that we've just shared, number 1. Mm-hmm. And number 2, to be around people who truly you have to keep up with. Mm-hmm. You've got to stretch yourself a little bit to maintain that relationship because they're just skyrocketing. And that to me is truly what it's all about. So we don't say down under down here, we say way down under. So kia ora, mates, all of you who listen, I appreciate it. Packed up my accent years ago when I moved back to the States, and it's all coming back. But sure love you, grateful for each of you. And I hope something we've said here today will give you something that will stir you up inside, especially right here in your heart. That's what matters the most, is your heart. Always will. Love you, Tyson. Love you guys out there. We'll see you next time.
You can trust it.
You can trust it.
Hey, listen, if you enjoyed this podcast, you'll want to come check out trustedcoaching.com, where you can get more support and coaching to help you become more of who you really are and to achieve the vision you have for your life. Again, that's trustedcoaching.com. We'll see you there.